The Smith family had always seemed ordinary, maybe even a little too ordinary for a small neighborhood in San Diego. Their house sat at the end of a quiet cul-de-sac, a picture-perfect home with a well-tended lawn and neatly trimmed hedges. Neighbors would often comment on how perfect they appeared. Henry Smith, the head of the family, was a successful lawyer with a reputation for being charming and persuasive, while his wife, Linda, was a homemaker who seemed to have mastered the art of hosting enviable dinner parties. Their teenage daughter, Grace, was the all-American girl next door, with straight A's and a warm smile that made her the pride of the community. But every family has secrets, and the Smiths' secrets were darker than anyone could have imagined. It all began one warm summer evening when a new family moved into the neighborhood. The Johnsons were friendly enough, and their teenage son, Jack, quickly struck up a friendship with Grace. They were often seen riding their bikes around the neighborhood or sitting on the Smiths' front porch, laughing over shared stories. Everything seemed normal, even idyllic, until the day Jack disappeared. The last time anyone saw him was at the Smiths' house. He'd been invited over for dinner, a seemingly innocent gesture that quickly turned into the talk of the town when Jack failed to return home that night. His parents called the police, but the investigation led nowhere. The Smiths claimed Jack had left their house around 9 p.m., but no one could confirm it. The security cameras in the neighborhood, oddly enough, had stopped working that very evening. The police questioned the Smith family thoroughly, but nothing incriminating was found. Henry, with his lawyer's poise, answered every question with calm precision. Linda shed tears and expressed her concern for the Johnsons. Grace, visibly shaken, insisted she had no idea where Jack could have gone. The case went cold, leaving the Johnsons devastated and the neighborhood uneasy. Weeks turned into months, and life in the cul-de-sac returned to a semblance of normalcy. But whispers lingered. People began noticing odd things about the Smiths: how their curtains were always drawn tightly at night, how Henry's normally pristine car had unexplained scratches on the bumper, and how Grace seemed to withdraw from her once active social life. Then, one night, an anonymous letter appeared in the Johnsons' mailbox. The note, written in shaky handwriting, simply read, "Ask the Smiths about their basement." The Johnsons took the letter to the police, who were reluctant to reopen the case without solid evidence. Frustrated, Jack's father, Michael Johnson, decided to take matters into his own hands. Under the cover of darkness, he snuck into the Smiths' backyard and peered into the basement window. What he saw made his blood run cold. There, in the dimly lit basement, was a table covered in photographs, pictures of Jack, pictures of other neighborhood kids, some of whom had moved away years ago. And then there were the files. Thick manila folders labeled with names, each containing what appeared to be detailed surveillance notes. Michael barely managed to suppress a gasp as he stumbled backward, retreating into the shadows before anyone could spot him. The next day, Michael confronted Henry Smith in broad daylight, demanding answers. The confrontation quickly escalated, drawing the attention of neighbors. Henry, maintaining his composure, dismissed Michael's accusations as baseless and threatened to sue for defamation. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and the once perfect facade of the Smith family began to crack. That evening, Michael gathered a small group of neighbors and shared what he'd seen in the basement. Fueled by a mix of fear and curiosity, they decided to act. Under the pretense of organizing a neighborhood watch meeting, they lured the Smiths out of their house. Once the Smith family was occupied, Michael and two others broke into the basement. What they found was beyond anything they had imagined. The basement wasn't just a storage space, it was a hidden lair. Walls were lined with maps of the neighborhood, marked with pins and notes. There was a locked cabinet that, when forced open, revealed an array of unsettling items: rope, duct tape, and a collection of old, rusted tools. But the most chilling discovery was a hidden trapdoor beneath an old rug. It led to a narrow tunnel that stretched far beneath the house. With flashlights in hand, the men descended into the darkness, their footsteps echoing ominously. The tunnel led to a small, soundproofed room. Inside, they found a cot, empty food containers, and a collection of personal belongings that unmistakably belonged to Jack. The police were called immediately. This time, they couldn't ignore the evidence. The Smith family was arrested, and the neighborhood was thrown into chaos. Henry's charm and Linda's tears couldn't save them now. The investigation revealed a horrifying truth. The Smiths had been running an underground operation, targeting vulnerable individuals in the neighborhood. Jack had been their latest victim, but by some miracle, he was found alive in a remote location where the Smiths had abandoned him after realizing the heat was closing in. The news sent shockwaves through San Diego, and the Smith story became a nationwide scandal. But the neighborhood, once so trusting, was left shattered. People installed security systems, kept their curtains drawn, and no longer trusted the surface perfection of their neighbors. As for Jack, he returned home, but he was never the same. The trauma of his experience lingered, and the once cheerful boy became withdrawn. The Smith family's house was left abandoned, a haunting reminder of the darkness that can hide behind closed doors. And so, the story of the Smith family serves as a chilling warning. No matter how perfect someone's life may seem, you never truly know what secrets they're hiding. Stay vigilant, stay curious, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Behind the Tape, for more gripping tales of hidden crimes and chilling mysteries. Until next time, stay safe.